And hello everyone, welcome to another match in the 2025 Multiple Classic Mario Games Famicom Trilogy Tournament. We have two very talented runners here with us tonight. We have abellabros and WillCeeYaSR. I'm going to pull up the bracket here and get the seeding numbers. So we have, this is round one of the bracket stage. So we had a group stage, and that was like our first phase for the tournament, and now we have a bracket stage, and this is round one, the final race for the top bracket round one. We have Abella Brothers number 4 seed, and then Drubsy's number 5 seed, and then the winner of this will face myself in round number 2. So, I'm gonna wait for the runners to get started here. Should be starting momentarily, but for PBs, as far as PBs are concerned, I don't think Will has an actual PB. I don't know if he's finished the run at all, or if he just hasn't submitted, but I don't see him on the leaderboard. But Abella Brothers does have a pretty respectable time. He has a 24:53 without loads, which is 7th place in the world. So pretty high ranking for this category. So, those who don't know much about this category, there are, obviously it's called Trilogy, so there's 3 games that we're going to be playing, all on the Famicom as well. We have the original Super Mario Bros., then we will be playing Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, the original FDS version, and then we are going to play Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Famicom version. And there are some differences between the Famicom and NES versions of Mario 3, so... But we also have a mandated game order. So the players cannot choose what game order they want to play the games in. Like, they can't start with Mario 3 and then do like Mario 1 in the middle and finish with Lost Levels. So the game order in both the races and on the official leaderboard is required in release order. So we're going to start with Mario 1, then we'll play Mario Lost Levels second, and then Mario 3 will be last. So the runners getting through 1-1 pretty good. Pretty easy level. So it looks like Will is going to go small only, which is a little bit riskier but a little bit faster than the Fire Flower strats that Abella is going to be going for. Fire Flower mainly for World 8, just a lot easier to get by the Piranha Plants in 8-1 and 8-2, and then 8-3 is kind of a cakewalk with Fire Flower since you can fire kill all the Hammer Bros. Two, it's a pretty popular level amongst Mario 1 speedrunners, because we have the wrong warp. So normally to get to the 4-2 warp zone, you have to hit that vine block and climb up the vine that Will just hit. But if you scroll Mario's position far enough to the right side of the screen, you can actually trick the game into sending Mario to the wrong destination when he goes down a certain pipe. Nice little time save there. And Will did a very good job demonstrating that, and we're going to see Abella do the same. Very clean for Abella. Will went for the backwards, the backlip pipe jump there, but unfortunately didn't get his jump, and then landing perfectly in between the two Goombas, and then taking another death to the first Piranha Plant. So it's going to give Abella a little bit of a lead early on in this first race. This is a best of 3, so we're going to see a minimum of 2 races and a maximum of 3 races. Last night we had another round 1 matchup in this tournament, and that went to a 3rd game. So I don't know, maybe we'll see another 3-game matchup tonight. Who knows? We have Abella starting in 8-2 here. Definitely a really tricky level, especially towards the end. We're gonna see, coming up here is the first really hard part. Ooh, he got a high paratrooper there, but really good on his part for reacting to that on the fly. He got a high paratrooper there, but he was still high enough to where he bounced off him, so... Great job by Abella, and same thing to Will. I didn't want to speak too soon there. So I would like to mention, whoever loses this best of 3 is not out of the tournament yet. We do have 2 brackets in the bracket stage. So this is the top bracket, and then we also have a bottom bracket, also called the losers bracket. And then if you lose a match in the losers bracket, then you're officially out of the tournament. So we have WillCeeYa grabbing the mushroom. Always nice to have a little bit of a buffer with getting hit with these hammer bros. They're pretty unpredictable, especially if you took a lot of slowdowns. But he does get hit by the second final hammer bro. Still gets through though. So you saw Bella go for a wall jump setup. You walk off the pipe and then press B when you're mid-air, and it sets you up for the wall jump to be 2 frames instead of 1 frame. And Will going for the same thing. Just a really nice wall jump setup. It's kind of hard to see if Will had shorted the wrong warp. His screen's a little not cropped properly, but it's alright, he did not right warp there. So one thing you're going to notice is that the players are going to wait in between games for 25 seconds. And the reason why we mandate that in races is because different players will be using different, like, NES flash cards or different emulators, which load the games at different speeds. So one emulator or one NES flash card will have faster game loading times than the other one, for example. So it would be unfair if someone won based off of the loading times and not actual gameplay. So we require the players to wait 25 seconds in between each game. See Will grabbing the star there in 1-1. Nice little safe strat there. Pretty consistent too. Brings you right to the end of the level. It's a pretty simple level, at least for the first room, because you can just run above all of the obstacles and whatnot. But the second room, like you saw Bella do pretty well, it can be pretty challenging, and there's no checkpoint for the second room, so if you die here, you have to start at the very beginning of the first room. So do not die here. Okay. Well, I guess that was a bad time to say that. I think Will was thinking that his momentum would have been completely killed, so he wasn't gonna move off the block that fast, but yeah, I guess I just spoke at the wrong time. So Abella grabbing the mushroom in 4-1. It's pretty typical for people to do fire strats, but there's actually a lot of people that do small only strats as well. Small, just like with SMB1, small only is faster, but it is riskier. Sorry, trying to communicate in the race room right now. Trying to see if we can get Will's stream kind of crop better. I don't know if he changed the layout or not. I was just asking him that. See if he gets if I get a response, but probably not. He's probably focusing on the race. But so Abella getting hit in 4-4, and it kind of looked like he went through Bowser, but he actually had invincibility frames there from getting hit. So, and since his stream is probably at like 30 FPS or like 29.94 FPS, it didn't process, like on the screen, didn't process all of the invincibility frames, so it just kind of looked like he was normal Mario that just went through Bowser, but it was his invincibility frames that helped him get through that. But Will doing a good job keeping his Fire Flower through World 4 so far. However, 4-4 is the hardest level in World 4, so things can definitely take a turn for the worst in this level coming up. So in 5-1, there is a super jump setup that you can do. You hit a vine block, and you release B so you're at walking speed when you land on the ground, and ricochet off of a paratroopa, and that'll give you a lot of height to clear that wall at the end of 5-1. So it is a little bit faster than hitting the invisible coin blocks, which is the intended route for that. Will, meanwhile, getting hit in 4-4. Luckily, 5-2 is a really good level to get power-ups back in. Both the power-ups are pretty fast and easy to get. So I'm sure he'll be doing that, but abellabros, he was like right there with the Devil Spell wrong warp, and he barely didn't clip in all the way. And he hopped out of the pipe, and we saw it yesterday too, you know, the Devil Spell death. It's so easy to do that because you have to be holding right when you clip into the pipe. So if you don't get all the way in and for some reason you jump out of the pipe, you'll be holding right, and then you'll just fall in the pit. Really trolly how they designed that, but Bella takes another death at the beginning of 8-1. Will having a little bit of a hard time getting up the wall in 5-1. But he gets up there. I think Abella took a quick game over from what it looks like. Maybe I'm wrong, but looks like he took a little bit of a game over there intentionally. You don't want to get to 8-4 and then die and then have to replay all of World 8 again. But I think Abella's lead has sort of shrunk, honestly. I definitely think the World 8 deaths have helped Will out a little bit in catching up. 8-2, pretty easy level, all things considered. You can hit the very first bottom left corner pixel of the block, and what that'll do is it'll like lock you in place. So like, instead of letting your momentum carry you past the paratroopa and onto that block that runners will normally use to get up to the vine, it'll like lock you in place and you'll fall into the pit. And it will kill you, so not fun. Not fun to have that happen. But looks like Will is grabbing an extra power up there. Can't blame him. Nothing wrong with being safe in a race. Usually it pays off, honestly. So Abella making his way through 8-4, and I think Will took a death there in 8-3. So I don't know how many lives Will has. I don't know if he has 1 life or 2, but yeah, pretty dangerous position to be in. Being late in a world and running low on lives, as I was just explaining earlier, with Abella taking the intentional 8-1 game over. But Abella into the last room of 8-4. Walking through that wall there's nothing technical about it. It's just, well, I won't say technical, but there's nothing like tricky about it. You just run off the floor and you'll land inside the other part of the floor there. There's nothing crazy you have to do. A great job to Abella, still maintaining a lead into Mario 3, but hands can actually determine this this race. It's not a big enough gap to where it's like a guaranteed win for Abella, especially because we've seen some meltdowns in Mario 3 in the past. But I do think there is some potential for Will to catch up here, but it might be a little tough. But Will making his way through 8-4 pretty smooth. I know 2J's given him a lot of problems in the past, so it's really nice being able to see him power through like this. Does not take the easy floor clip there. Wonder if he doesn't know about that or what, but has to play it safe on Bowser and gets through. So very nice for Will. So now that we're in Mario 3 on the Famicom version, oh, that was a really cool tail grab from Abella there. That's a high level tail grab there using that Koopa shell. Very good job. So now that we're in Mario 3, I'd like to go over some of the differences between the Famicom and the NES versions of this game. So as you see, normally on the NES version, when you enter a level, there's just one fade-in part, and that's from the overworld map to the first black screen, away from the overworld map. But in this version, there's 2 fade-in screens, and the second one isn't present in the NES version, so it is a little bit of a time waster in between each level. But trying to multitask here, sorry about that. About the rapid typing. But World 8, we see Abella in World 8, lots of auto-scrollers. Meanwhile, Will making his way through 1-2. About to enter 1-3 to get the first warp whistle. So another difference in the Famicom version of Mario 3 versus the NES version is that there is only a 2-hit system in the Famicom version. We see Will taking a death there to the boomerang bro. Can be a bit trolly, but I think he's trying to go all out at this point. Trying to go for the optimal strats, but like I was saying about the hit system, so if you're like Raccoon Mario or Fire Mario or anything more powerful than just regular Big Mario in the Famicom version and you get hit, you don't go down to Big Mario like in the NES version, you go straight down to small. But obviously the NES version, if you're like Raccoon Mario or Fire Mario for example, and you get hit, you just go back down to regular Big Mario. So that's another thing that's really important, is that the players don't get hit in these auto-scrollers, because it's really bad for this version. And yes, we do require this version be played, because it is the Famicom Trilogy, so especially because there's a handful of differences that are somewhat significant for this game. It is important that we have players run on the actual Famicom version. So I guess it's a good time to guess how many hands the players are going to get. I don't know. I think I'll say 2 for each player. I'll be a little mean tonight. Feeling a little mean-spirited. But yeah, Bell did a really good job getting that Fire Flower. It's one of the hardest power-ups to grab in the whole game. So really nice job for him on getting that power-up. And Will is just entering World 8 right now. This could be a really solid time if Abella gets no hands. I don't know what his pace is right now. I know he had a couple slip-ups in 2J. Alright, entering the last pipe. So Fire Killing Boom Boom is a little bit faster. It's about 3 seconds faster per fire kill on Boom Boom versus stomping him. So that's another good reason to have the Fire Flower, because it is more. Alright, so far, one hand. Second hand is the best hand to get grabbed by. And Will, just barely too slow for that Rocky Wrench. He could have landed on him a little bit earlier, and he wouldn't have gotten hit, because the Rocky Wrench wouldn't have thrown anything, but he was barely too slow for that. But Abella, really good luck with the hands. Only the middle hand, which is like the best RNG you can get other than no hands. So Air Force is really one of the scariest parts of Mario 3. A fast-moving auto-scroller, and you don't want to lose Fire Flower. Especially if you got no hands, because then you won't have like a tail to recover with. You'll have to enter 8-1 as small. Will getting hit at the beginning of the Navy, so not in the best shoes right now. Especially for entering hands, but we do have the awesome team at SpeedGaming syncing up the streams for us here. And yeah, Will is pretty close to a game over right now. Hopefully he can pull through without any major setbacks. It really does, like, pique my interest when people use like the star and 8-1 and not 8F. But Will taking another death in the Navy, so now he's flirting with a game over. And there it is, the final cannonball. We'll see if he wants to keep going. And yeah, it looks like he's gonna keep going. Very good. And Abella making really quick work of 8-2. Definitely growing a lead now over Will. Well, that's a pretty interesting strat. You bonk on the first wall there, and then it sets you up to where you can just duck jump past that roto disc. Some people call it roto disc, some people call it like a waffle. I don't know, there's multiple names for them. We'll see if Abella can get through this P-switch cycle in one go. If he's too slow and the P-switch runs out, the doors will disappear. So it loses a little over 10 seconds if you miss the P-switch cycle. Will taking a little bit of a swim in the chocolate milk. Needs to cool off a little bit. So we got Abella looking at just under 27 minutes if he can close this out strong. Ooh, I didn't see... Wow, of course. I went to communicate with someone, and then I didn't see what happened to Abella there. But Will getting the third hand right now. Worst hand to get is hand 1. That's the longest hand. And also, you know, you got the hammer bros, and you got 2 small hammer bros and then a big hammer bro, so... Yeah, really curious. I didn't really quite get what happened to Abella there. I don't know what happened for him to die there. Or whatever happened, but... Yeah, I looked away at the wrong time. But still has a sizable lead here. As long as he can play Bowser's Castle pretty clean, he should have this. It'll be his race to lose. We're gonna have to restart the Air Force. It is good to get the third hand, because if you do die on the Air Force, you go back to that third hand, since that was the last part of the map that your location was saved on. So like if you get the first hand and then you die without playing the second or third hand, you go back to the first hand, since that's where your location was last saved on the map. Oof, Abella having a hard time in the donut part. He's gonna go the bottom route, it looks like. Or I guess not, he's gonna go back to the beginning. I haven't really seen the bottom part of Bowser's Castle in a while, so I don't really remember exactly which part brings you to the bottom part of the level, the alternate route. But we're still having trouble with the Air Force. I'm actually really curious as to why Abella didn't go for that 1-up clip. Because you can still do it with Tail Mario. But alright, whatever he wants to do. So normally, obviously, it would be ideal for any percent no wrong warp. That hit's not very good. Entering this room as small is never really fun. But like I was saying, ideally for this category, you'd enter the Bowser room with fire, and then you can just fire kill Bowser, which is 35 fireballs, but instead Abell's gonna have to wait and slowly bring Bowser lower and lower into the floor, and then eventually Bowser will just stomp himself to his own death. But Will did die in the Air Force again, and now he's back to playing the hands. And he gets no hands for at least the second time now. But it looks like Abella's gonna take the win here. Take the first game. Really good run, honestly. Really solid. 28-43. Get your GGs out for Abella. Very good run. We're gonna give him the first score. It looks like, I don't know if Will's gonna keep going. I don't think he is. But yeah, I think he forfeited. So I'm gonna go ahead and disappear for like 30 seconds to get the next race room open. And hopefully we'll get the runners started up here for race number 2 very shortly. Alright, so we have race number 2. The race room is open. We do host our races on racetime.gg. It's a good way for the runners to kind of count down together and get started at the same time. So you don't have someone starting like 5 minutes earlier than the next person. But yeah, I'm gonna do, while we're waiting, I am gonna do a little bit of a leaderboard plug. We have many more multi-game Mario categories other than this one. This is just one of many amazing multi-game categories that are on speedrun.com. So the official leaderboard, speedrun.com/MCMG, which stands for Multiple Classic Mario Games, and you can see it on the top of the stream layout here. If you go to that leaderboard, we have obviously this category, and we have the NES Trilogy, and we had that category as a tournament last year too. So we had NES Trilogy, which would be Mario 1 on the NES version, which is no different than Mario 1 on this category. Then we'd have Mario 2 USA, the veggie game, and then we had Mario 3 on the NES version. So that's the NES Trilogy, and we have Quadrilogy, which is these 3 games here, plus Mario 2 US. And we also have Pentathlon, which is the 4 8-bit Mario games, and then Mario World afterwards. So, yeah, check it out, multiple classic Mario games. There's so many categories, and then the categories within the categories. There's Famicom Trilogy 80%, then there's Famicom Trilogy Warpless, and then there's Famicom Trilogy 100%, and then we have Warpless and 100% categories for all of the other, like NES Trilogy and Quadrilogy and Pentathlon and so on. So there's so many awesome multi-game speedruns, and there's a lot of talent within everyone that does them. So it should be another minute or so before we get started. One of the runners is taking a little break, but once they come back, we should be all good to get going again. mentioned this earlier, but all of the races in this tournament are going to be best of 3, except for the grand finals, and that will be best of 5. So that the best of 5 will be a minimum of 3 races and a maximum of 5. So that'll be very exciting. More Mario action. "25-second thing. It's not required on the actual leaderboard. It's just required for the races. But we have the countdown going in the race room, so we should be seeing the runners on the stream get started pretty shortly. So yeah, it looks like we're really gonna start getting going now on the actual stream. Wonder if Will's gonna keep that text on there for the whole second run. Alright, never mind. I guess he heard me. Alright, and we are officially off for race number 2. Probably going to be seeing the same strats as last time. We'll have Will going for the small only strats, and then we have Abella going for the big fire strats. It looks like both players got their 1-2 pretty smoothly this time around. Wood, famously the easiest level in Mario 1. Wonder if anyone's gonna go for flagpole glitch. That would be really cool. We haven't had any of those crazy glitches yet in the tournament. No flagpole glitches, no blazes, no BBGs. Nothing as of right now. It's really cool seeing 2 different strats for the wrong warp, with Will being small Mario. He goes for like the standard 3-bump method, where when you're facing backwards and you bump into a wall. So if you're like facing left, bump into a wall and push yourself to the right. Do that 3 times, that'll set you up to get the wrong warp successfully. And then you see Abella sliding underneath the bricks and forcing Mario to be pushed to the right side of the screen through the bricks. We see Will taking the same death as in the first race. Hopefully he doesn't get too tilted. Yeah, I personally am pretty safe with my races. I always like to do the fire strats. Feels very bare going small only, and then you're just so prone to like dying so much. So Bella with a little bit of a lead again in the first game, but Will does have a pretty smooth 8-1 the second time around. Almost getting fireworks, so I didn't really explain fireworks in the first race. So in Mario 1, if you grab the flagpole when the last digit of your timer is a 1, 3, or 6, you will get fireworks according to whichever digit you get on the timer. So if you land with the timer ending in a 1 on the flagpole, you get 1 firework. If the last digit is 3 on the timer, you will get 3 fireworks, and the same thing with 6. 1 firework does not lose any time, but 3 and 6 do. So especially more so in Warpless, but you see it in 80% as well, mainly in 8-3. You'll see players slow down a little bit to avoid getting 3 or 6 fireworks. So we see Will going for the mushroom grab. Pretty respectable. Don't want to challenge those Hammer Bros as small. And immediately loses it to the first Hammer Bro. And, I guess he wasn't like expecting to land on the back side of the pipe, and his A-press timing got thrown off. So I think now he's pretty close to a game over. That Hammer Bro just won't leave him alone, and he gets another hit. Oh, did he die? Yeah, he must have died. I couldn't see it that well because of his invincibility frames. It looked like he was about to land on the stairs, and then he just wasn't moving. I'm like, But that'll put Abella a decent bit in the lead. I'm sure he has his nerves kind of brushed off now. Really solid SMB1. 504 with fire is very fast. So we'll see how well 2J is going to go for Abella. And we'll get into fireworks. He landed on the flag with his timer ending in a 6, so he will get 6 fireworks. Now that we have Abella in 2J, I'll explain kind of how fireworks behave in 2J, because it is different than SMB1. So in 2J, if the last digit of your coin count matches the last digit of your timer upon grabbing the flagpole, you will get fireworks if the number is odd for the last digit of your coin count and flagpole grab on the timer. If that last digit is odd, you will get 3 fireworks, and then if that number is even, you will get 6 fireworks. So Will in 8-3 again. Grabs the mushroom this time, successfully. Meanwhile, Abella making his way through 1-2 and is set to start World 4. So it kind of looked like Will should have died to that Hammer Bro, but a really cool like mechanic in Mario 1 and 2J is that if you're falling downwards and you collide with an enemy, you will always defeat the enemy every single time. But obviously if you're ascending and jumping up higher, and you collide with an enemy, you will always die. So, unless it's something like, you know, a paratrooper with a super jump, as we will hopefully see in 5-1. Yeah, we can switch to Abella. I don't know. I know it was saying that the runners didn't have audio, but now it says it does, so... Yeah, we can switch to Abella. So, Abella kind of does a similar thing to what Vince does, where he keeps his big only state into 4-3. He doesn't grab the Fire Flower. So yeah, pretty unique strat I've been seeing amongst runners in this game through this tournament. So Will taking a death in 1-1 of 2J. And Abella getting hit by the Koopa Troopas there. Plays the Podoboo safe in 4-4, very nice. Almost getting squished in between the Firebar and Bowser, but fortunately he doesn't. So... this black screen you see from Abella, that's a loading time, and that gets removed from the official leaderboard time. For both the individual Lost Levels leaderboard and multiple classic Mario games. There's actually like a bunch of loads, like when you get to all stages in Lost Levels, there are a bunch of loading times. Most of the time it's like, for all stages, it's over half a minute of loading times. But going for a pipe jump and it unfortunately doesn't pay off, so now he's kind of gambling with gaming over. It's not a very good situation to be in, especially for a race, but we do see Abella getting the super jump this time around. Very nice. See if Will goes for a risky room 2 again. Alright, looks like he's playing it safe this time. This climb can be really scary, and it's even scarier as Luigi, honestly. But he gets through. We'll see if he takes an intentional game over. Meanwhile, we see Abella, really good Devil Spell. So he's entering World 8 now on a really solid pace. Alright. I really need to stop complimenting runners, because every time I do, something always happens. So, I just need to stop complimenting runners, apparently. So, yeah, we saw Abella taking a death there in 8-1. Fortunately, it was quick. But Will grabbing the Fire Flower, doing the fire strats. Can't blame him. Fire Flower is OP. Right, 8-2, the only level, actually no, one of 2 levels in 2J any percent that has wind. Also, really swag, really fast vine grab for Abella too. You don't really see that super often, but did a very nice job demonstrating that for us. And it does save a frame rate most of the time, so that's cool. So we have both players entering castle stages. Will with the Fire Flower in 4-4, and we have abellabros with being small into 8-4. Will getting hit and taking a death there. Hopefully he's not going to game over. It would be really painful to see a 4-4 game over. So this part that we just saw Bella get through, it is technically a maze. But if you jump too high, that whole part will, before the big fire bar will reset. But unfortunately, Will taking another death to the end Potaboo of 4-4. Also, I really like what Abella does with the, trying to get in that wall in the hallway to clip into it. You can barely squeeze in on the left side before the 2 paratroopers in room 4. You can jump up and clip into that wall and just run through the wall. It's kind of an old school strat, honestly, but it's really nice to see it in races. Or in just runs in general. But Abella has a pretty big cushion here for Mario 3. Even with a death, pretty solid run as we enter the final game. You see Will entering World 5. I think he did an intentional game over, which is good. Don't want a game over in 5-2. We'll see if he can get the super jump. Just barely landing on the red Piranha Plant's hitbox. Abella barely missing a jump in 1-2. He recovers pretty well though, didn't get hit. I guess Will went right in the pit there in 5-1, so he's gonna take another intentional game over. I love that strat that Abella goes for. It's really cool. I don't really see a lot of people go for it because it's really hard. Right, Will does get by the red Piranha Plants this time around. Alright, now let's see if he can get the super jump. He tried. He tried, but unfortunately, the Koopa was not in the right spot. But had a little bit less trouble this time getting up the wall versus last time. So we have abellabros warping to World 8. Auto-scroller City. Will bonking on the pipe and not let the red Piranha Plant come back down, and Will was not prepared for that. So yeah, red Piranha Plants, you can stand next to them, but they'll still come out of the pipe, unlike green Piranha Plants. You have to be like almost over them on the pipe for them to not come out. And Will is now entering World 8. We'll see if he can get out of 2J here. While Abella slowly but surely getting through this auto-scroller. Will was just a little too fast for that paratrooper. That paratrooper is one of those ones where you have to slow down a little bit in order for him to, like, descend low enough for you to bounce off him, because if you just do a no slowdown and just plow right through and try to land on him, he'll be too high. It looks like Abella got through the first auto-scroller. Now we're going to try to see him get the Navy Fire Flower. Ooh, nice jump into the hammers there for Will, but unfortunately hitting the 1-up mushroom and taking another death. Bella nicely getting the Fire Flower again. Alright, how many hands is Abella going to get? I'm going to guess 1. I'll be a little nicer to him this time around. And Will taking another death at the same spot as last time. And that hammer bro. Will was not expecting him to jump up like that, and then jumped right into him. This game 2J can be a pretty punishing game. Especially if you're like kind of new to it. I don't know how much experience Will has with it, but it can definitely be a really punishing game sometimes. Alright, Abella now entering the hand room. Alright, second hand again. We'll see if he gets the same RNG as last run. Because he got the second hand only. Getting the second hand, so his results and my votes were backwards. I guess 2 hands the first time, and he got 1 hand, and I guess 1 hand this time, and he got 2. Presumably. I'm gonna say that, because hand 3 is being a little rough right now on him. But he does get through. Unfortunately, not with a Fire Flower, though. So, he will lose some time on this next auto-scroller with not being able to fire kill Boom Boom. We have Will still having a hard time in 8-1. I think he just forfeited, though. Yeah, I think Will is done, so, give your GG's out to Will. He did really good. Maybe his timer glitched because he might have like a racetime.gg plugin that might have like automatically forfeited him. I guess Will is done here. I'll kind of mark him off. So handling some controls here. I didn't know what happened to Abella. I think he took a death in 8-1 if I'm not mistaken. But he does get back up to Fireflower. And he almost got the fast P-speed strat there too. Or the early P-speed strat, I should say. Alright, making his way into 8-2. 8-1 and 8-2 are such tough levels. Especially when you're under pressure. And even in like Warpless and Hundo, the longer categories where you played such a good run for so long and then you have to play 8-1 and 8-2. But they're actually like not as bad as most people would think, just because you get so much experience with them from No Wrong Warp. So this time around, we will see Abella use his star in the World 8 Fortress. Which is the standard strat for that level. So we're looking at a little bit over 27 minutes for Abella. Looking at like 27 2x for Abella. Hopefully the super tank won't give him any problems. You know, last time he had a little bit of a slip up. So it looks like Abella is poised to move on to round 2. He'll be facing myself in a best-of-3 match. So the winner of myself versus Abella is going to face Vince Chillin in the semifinals. But yeah, go follow these runners both. We should have a command for the chat on links to each runner's Twitch channel. Alright, that is not accurate, but go follow them too, I guess. Yeah, I think their names are the same. Maybe Abella's is Abella Brothers 12. Go follow these guys on Twitch, wherever you can find them. Abella making very quick work of Bowser's Castle. Bowser, please. And very nice for Abella, looking like a mid 27-minute run. Ooh, almost getting the floor clip there, beneath the door. Looks like a 27-25 for Abella. So get your GGs out for Abella. He will be taking the overall victory. Hopefully we'll get the runners in for some interviews in a moment. Alright, we do have Will here now. Welcome on in, Will. Nice job on your runs. How do you feel?
Okay, there we go. I couldn't hear nothing for a second.
Alright, well, congratulations on your good runs, your good attempts there. How do you feel about your runs?
Game 1, I felt pretty confident after getting out of 2J, but that last airship before 8-1 just really got me.
Yeah.
Game 2, I just had so many nerves, it was hard to focus, and I just kept messing up on the littlest mistakes, and other than that, I felt pretty good about the runs.
Yeah, it's really easy to like crumble in a run, especially like when it starts going downhill, when you're in a race and there's like pressure, and it's really easy to start to crumble after one little thing goes wrong. So I think you recovered from everything pretty well for the most part.
It was very fun. Very challenging going against Abella. He's like top tier hunter.
Yeah, he does. He's top. I think he's 7th on the leaderboard. So can't mess around with anyone in like the top 10, really.
The consistency too. It's like 27 minutes, 26-minute runs. That's a good consistency to have.
Yeah, especially with like the waiting in between each game for 25 seconds. That too. But we do have Abella Brothers here in the commentary booth. Welcome on in and congrats on your win.
GG Abella.
Hello? Okay. Well played to Will also. Well played, well played. Yeah, that was quite nerve-wracking, if I should say so.
Yeah, how do you feel about your runs overall?
I'm just glad it didn't crash, that like the stream didn't crash or nothing happened, no power outage.
Yeah,
I'm just
I was
glad.
thinking about
I'm just
that.
glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's not raining anymore. It's like sunny out here, so it's fine. What about the race? I did quite well, although I didn't. Although back to back, I did game over in 2J. Well, it's gotta be 2J. In SMB 1, I think I got back to back 504, which is kind of impressive on its own. SMB 3, I got one hand, two hands, quite unlucky. Actually, about the first run, yeah, I took damage. Like, you saw that, right? Bro, at the easiest auto-scroller in the history of SMB 3. I took damage.
Oh, the super tank.
Yeah, like, bruh, how did that?
Yeah, I didn't even catch
frustrated.
that because I had looked
Oh,
away from the screen for like 5 seconds, and next thing I knew, you were like went from fire to small. I'm like, what happened? But
yeah, I screwed up. That's what happened. I screwed up. I messed up there. Like,
yeah,
like,
it happens.
yeah, it's just a weird interaction for some reason. Like, I was literally on top of the Bob arm, and then for some reason it like I took damage from it instead of me stomping all, which is weird. Still weird. We move.
There have
Game. Sorry.
was gonna say that there have been world records that have died in the super tank. Actually, there was a warpless record that died in the super tank after no hands.
Yeah, it was.
That's the
Yeah, I remember.
worst.
I remember. I think I know what you're referring to. Yeah, I think I know. What else? Game 2 went alright. Again, it's just 2J. I can't go wrong with 2J, am I right? It's like sometimes, like 100% of the time, I always die for some reason at the start of 8-1. Even though, even though I am doing the safe strat where you wiggle going down, then just maneuver around it. It's not even that bad, but I keep on dying for some reason.
Yeah, that
Uh,
second race, I said you had a pretty good pace going, and then you immediately died in
yeah.
8-1, and I was like, yeah, I should probably stop talking now. You probably thank me for that.
I mean, no, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. It happened. My PB already had my PB has one death in 2J, so it's not bad. Yes, I'm top. I'm sixth place and I have a death. Wow. I was
Still
actually like
fire.
PB pace. Yeah, I was actually PB pace by like 0.1, I guess, going into SMB3, and then I got hands. I'm like, it's fair. Uh, what else? My SMB3 went alright, although my 8-1 in the second race was kinda I guess, if you'd say so. I died. I mean, I did re-grab, and then I died. Because, yeah, I took damage in hand 3. That's what happened. Damn. Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. What else do I? And pretty much, yeah, overall, good race. My performance could have been better, especially 2J, but I can take it. Yeah. Well played to Will. That was a good race, man.
Yeah, GG.
Well played.
All right, so looking at the bracket here, Abella, you're gonna face some weirdo. I don't even
I
know who
know,
this guy is.
I know who you're referring. I know I'm gonna fight you. Yes,
Um,
I know. I'm not gonna fight you. Oh my.
yeah, that'll be really
You're
fun.
fifth. Yeah, you're fifth, and I'm sixth, and you're consistent with Fire Strike and 2J. I'm not. It
I
all
try to
comes
be
down to
consistent,
hands.
but yeah, it
I mean,
probably will come down to hands.
Yeah. Your 2J game seems like pretty strong. Alright, you're consistent with Fire Strike. I do not.
Yeah, thank you. Anything can happen though. We never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
At least
Will,
I
you're
can.
gonna go.
I can.
What's
Sorry.
that?
At
You
least
can
I
go
can get.
first.
Okay, at least I can go for 504 SMB1. I'm quite consistent with it. It's just nice. The only thing that I'm consistent at, just 504 SMB1. That's it. The rest, I don't know about that one. I mean, I did switch my strats in 2J. I did grab Mushroom in 4-1 for safety in 4-4. That's it. That's the only reason. I know there's a troll fireball at the end. I know I'm gonna get hit some point. In game 1, I got hit. So I'm like, thankfully I grabbed. Thankfully I grabbed in 4-1. Hey, sometimes safety is good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So, Will, you're gonna be going down to the bottom bracket. You're gonna face Stewie Cartman, who recently faced Vince Chillin in round 2. So, how are you feeling about that? I think you raced him in the past.
I did. I got 0 and 2, but I feel pretty confident I can get Stewie this time. He might have SMB3, but I'm starting to get SMB2J locked down.
That's what I like to see. Let's go.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting matchup. We'll see who takes the win on that one. Because now the bottom bracket, whoever loses gets eliminated. So it's like the
right.
danger zone
You're,
now.
yeah, it's you only have one life. Yeah, basically.
But best of luck. You're gonna do great on that.
Yeah. Good
Thank
luck
you.
to you, Will. Also.
get going on some final words here and wrap this up. We'll start with Abella. Any final words before we finish off here?
Yeah. Ever heard of Prime Shop?
Have you heard
Okay.
of Twitch Prime?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Twitch Prime, bro? You could just I don't know I don't know the rest of the line, whatever. But yeah, thank you all for the support, and I guess thank you all for watching the matches. Pretty much, it was pretty entertaining. Yeah, it could have been better for me, but as long as I'm concerned, it went well. It went very well. Alright, and I'll go support Will also. Follow his Twitch. That's all I can say. Alright.
All right, Will, what do you have to say to finish this off?
I would like to say thank you for having me out, Mars. Very fun. And make sure to follow Mars on Twitch. Goated speedrunner. He's doing all
Yeah,
5
sure.
All-Stars, right?
Yeah, all
Oh.
5 hundo. Very
Oh yeah,
kind of a
forgot
painful
about that one.
speed run. 4 hours
Go check
long,
that
but
out. Follow SpeedGaming,
Yeah.
and like Abella said, have you heard of Twitch Prime? It's a cool feature when you link your Amazon Prime to Twitch and get cool things like subbing to SpeedGaming for free. No way!
Let's go.
there you
Free.
go. Get
Nothing's
your
better
Twitch
than
Prime.
free.
You heard
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Nothing's better than free. Come on, don't let it go to waste, man. It's free. Come on. Anyways.
All right, so sounds like that's going to be it from the runners. I'll do my outro. Go follow both abellabros and Will on Twitch and what other social medias that they would have. So go follow the runners. Thank you, Speed Gaming, for hosting this tournament. As always, we love to see the runners' game feeds on the stream, and they do a really good job with putting restreams up. So shout out to Speed Gaming. And thank you to the viewers who tuned in tonight. We don't have any more races set up right now on the schedule, but I'm sure we're going to get some more races scheduled pretty soon in the next few days, and we'll have some more multi-Mario action
sure.
going on. So,
For sure, man.
yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good rest of your night.
Yeah. Hey.
Later.